right, guys, let's get it going. Welcome. My name is Karl, AceTradingClub. I'm zoomed in on this one right here, but I'm excited. It's Friday. We've managed through the week. I mean, we've had an amazing week at the Discord. Again, I'm Karl from AceTradingClub. We're on an open free Discord. It's free to join. There's a link in the description. Feel free to join if you are looking for. What's the Discord for? It's good for day trading. It's good for swing traders. It's good for investors because you're going to get my insight, my 10 plus years of investing in the stock markets, in and out, through bull markets, through bear markets, through tariffs, through COVID, through anything that goes on. And you can get my actual calls. You can get my actual entries, exits, and my thesis on a trade. So come join us, come have a look, and we hope to see you there. So without further ado, let me show you guys a little bit about the Discord before we go. I always gotta take in time, put a little plug in there, right? And what you get is you get this free community here where you get the free trade ideas. As a matter of fact, this Sunday, I will be hosting a free webinar. We're gonna take it back to the basics, back to the beginning. And we're gonna look and help you understand exactly how to start from a newbie. I'm just gonna assume you've just come straight from planet Earth. You are Mr. Bean, you've just dropped down. And so I'm gonna explain it from there. And then we're gonna go all the way through and we're gonna look for actual plays that we can look to play next week so that we can profit and turn the money printer on, because at Ace Trading Club, we turn the money printer on every single day, okay? And so in the free game, you get all this information, insights, things that we're trying to do, et cetera, et cetera. But more importantly, what I really, really appreciate is the members who literally print money every single day, $871. $871. What's not captured in it is the time frame. We're talking 10 to 30 minutes of some of these trades. You know, some of these trades are so quick, and just we have a lot of community. So we got people out there helping others outside of my trades, helping others to become profitable. And that's what I want here. And we just teach you how to turn that money printer on every day. It's just right here for all to see. Shout out winning trades. You got members reviews, share trade ideas. We got data economics, just so you can understand what's going on. So today, let's have a look. Today, we have core PPI. We got purchasing price index today, month over month. Then we got the preliminary consumer sentiment, inflation numbers, et cetera, coming out. But then also this week we have earnings. We have earnings this week, but there's nothing of note to me. There was Delta Wednesday, but today you had BlackRock, you had JP Morgan. So none of these that I would actually trade, but it's just good to know, and we just give you that information for free. But more importantly, we have a paid membership where I actually give my live trade ideas. We have a chat room where people are very active in the chat room, helping members out. Swing trade ideas that we give out, live trading. So when I'm live, I'm down here in this live day trading room at the low here, where you see my charts, you see me here, we talk, I give you the thesis. But when I'm not live, I'm still active in the charts. And so here we go. I'm going to go over some of this, but I took a trade in Tesla later that day, and I gave support levels for the QQQ for members to take, because you know, it typically goes to where I'm trying to get it, where I can buy low, sell high, or I can make money on the way down. So this is what takes place here in the live trading room. But enough of that. It's like, Karl, enough. Get to the charts. Let's get to the charts, right? Let's get to the chart. What can we trade today, right? All right, here we go. I'm going to show you something on the SPY. Okay, we're going to go to the SPY, and I showed you what I showed you in the paid membership area for trade ideas, how you can profit off of the volatility in this market, and how members are able to think. What looks to you as confusing is just like the matrix to me. I see a lady in the red dress. Okay, for you, you see a crazy chart that goes from the bottom left to the top right, correct? That's what you're seeing. And I'm going to do it every single day, and I will go over to you. What you're looking at is a candlestick chart, where in right here, this green candle represents the price movement of the day. This is a daily chart. I could do a weekly chart, a 4-hour chart, an hour chart, etc. But each candle will represent the price action of the day. Okay, so yesterday we had a red day, so it means we opened higher, finished lower. We went even lower. We went to as low as 410, but we finished at 425. Let's call it 425, okay? We actually finished at 424.58, okay? But what I want to show is I want to deep dive. I'm gonna make this graph more complex than it already is by showing you my yellow lines, They're kind of getting a little famous. I mean, tiny famous. I don't want to blow my own horn here. But these are levels where you can take a trade. I gave a level yesterday. I said you could take a long on the SPY at 515. Now, members got my actual inside information of where I was going to show, and that's what I showed you on the Discord. But let me show you. Boom. My yellow lines. Same graph. Same graph, same graph, same graph. This red chart, this red candle represents the price action of yesterday. We opened at around 532. We went as low as 510, but we finished at 524. But there's levels to this game. There's ways you can profit. So if I deep dive into it, you see this yellow line. I struck this yellow line yesterday for everybody live, and I said 515, right under 515, you can take this trade. And if you would have taken that trade, you would have got a $10 bounce. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you have 100 shares, that's $1,000. If you have 50 shares, that's $500 in minutes, folks, in minutes. So let's deep dive looking at a 10-minute chart of the price action on the SPY. And let's just look at this thing. Okay, to you, it looks crazy. Remember, this window that we're looking at is the 10-minute chart of yesterday's price action. So essentially, everything you can see here is yesterday's price action. We started up here, fell all the way down here, rallied all the way back up here, okay? But when the market started falling, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, I went online, I went live into the chat room, and I told people the market doesn't work like that. It just does not keep falling. What goes down has to go up, and what goes up has to come down. So let's just read it together. You'll see it. I don't have to bloviate. You'll see it right there for yourself. If I pull up the Discord, you'll see where I tell members in the live trading room, I say, Tesla, if it hits 242, I'm going long 100% based on the QQQ hitting support, but long Tesla. But more importantly, I point out the levels on the SPY. I said, just look at it straight. It can go straight down. It will have to bounce soon. QQQ and SPY hitting major support. What's the support on the QQQ? 439 and 434. And the SPY is 510 and 505. So right in that window is where I'm telling members, this is where we want to get long, right here. If you get long here, you're going to make money, okay? You're going to make money if you take that trade. So if we take that down, if we really dive into it, if we dive into what we're seeing here, let's get in there real nice. You'll see it falling. Boom, 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 boom. This yellow line represents 515, but look at this 510 right here. Right here represents 510. You just John Wicked it to 510. You pierced it by a little. So right in this window is where you want it to be. If you took that trade, boom. Even though it was selling for almost over an hour, 90 minutes, just selling. And it's hard to want to jump in, but it's just selling 90 minutes. But I give that insight to help members, to help you through the day, whether I'm live on the charts, but I'm watching the charts actively so you can profit. But that's the SPY. But let's take a look at the QQQ. What did I say? 439, I think I said was the level. And 434. Let's do same 10-minute candle. There's a 10-minute candle of the QQQ. Falling 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 minutes. 80 minutes down. Where did I say the support was as we started to fall? I said 439 and 434. You buy in this window. What do we get? Yes, we get a bounce all the way up. It goes all the way to 446 before it checks back down and then runs back to 450. These are plays that I give to members every day, this insight. So that's enough of showing that off. But what's going on with the SPY? Where are we going today? That's what's really, really most important. All right, so I kind of said I was expecting a down day in the SPY yesterday. I was expecting a dip down and a rip up. And essentially we got that, okay? And as a trader, I can be early, I can be late, I can miss a trade, right? But it happens. So here we are dealing with the SPY. Where's the SPY at now? So we have this massive, what I call a God candle. Started very low, finished way high, right? That's the Trump pause 90-day tariff market rally. We get a down day, we get a pop down, a drop down, and a pop up. So what are we gonna do today? Well, right now it's hard to really grasp because you have this massive kind of God candle here. I still expect a little bit of a down day today. I still like the 515 today as a level. So 515 is a level. If we get a 10-point move down on the SPY, that could be bought today. It's going to be tricky because it's going to take, you got to think about what we've just done 2 days ago. That was a ton about volume. Trillions of dollars printed in. So now we got to try to find even more trillions of dollars to go even higher, right? So we should expect kind of a pause day today, somewhere in here. I don't know how volatile the market is going to be. Nobody can tell you that. We're up less than, we're up less than half a point. But what can we expect? If we can get to about 515, I like it. There's a tiny level around 520, but the safer level will be a pierce of 510 today. We're still not out of the woodworks, but if you really, really are conservative, I would wait for this 505 level today. But where could we go on the upside? The upside, again, is this yellow line here, this 540 to this 545. I have a hard time seeing it get through that today without a catalyst. We don't know what the president is going to say. He could pause all of the Chinese tariffs and say we're going to give them 90 days to come to the negotiation. Boom, we'd see trillions of dollars. Where could it run if it started to go up? Of course, it could run up here to 548, but I would expect it, if that was the news, I would expect it to roll up right to this downsloping trend line, this purple line, somewhere to about 556 to 560. That's kind of my max move if the president says something like that, okay? Of course, it can go higher, but that's kind of where I would expect it to run out of steam, okay? Let's look at the Qs, the QQQ. Members love trading the Qs, so I always try to give them the same thing. It's the same kind of analysis as well. The level of support remains this 540 to 534. I doubt that we get all the way down to 534, so I would look for a pierce of about 538 if it gave it to us today, with the upside being this 558. But again, if the president announces something crazy, where could I see it running? I could see it running literally to about 475. It would take that type of move, but it's going to require the president to reduce the tariffs, and then you could take off. Okay. Outside of that, I wouldn't expect us to make it out of the green bar today. That's going to take a Herculean effort. Could we get there? Will we get there? Eventually, but not today. I just don't see that. We need a catalyst to break us out of this God candle to the top. So what can we trade today? What am I looking at? Well, let me show you Tesla. I'm going to give a prime example. Again, of these yellow bars. And I said to the team, I said, if it gets to 242, 100% I'm buying, right? As it dipped down. This was later in the day as it started to fall based on the Qs hitting support. So when you look at it, I'll overlay it with the Qs. I overlay it with the SPY. We get to 242. It goes as low as 239. You get a epic bounce to 251, a check down, and a run up to 256. You can profit off of these. These are 5% moves, folks. Intraday on a stock that was down 7% on the day. You're talking massive moves. So if you got it at 240, you got over a 5% move, 5% on your money. But if you took an option, you got over 100% on your money. There's lots of ways to make a souffle, okay? So what do I expect on Tesla today? I'm watching Tesla. I'm in it pre-market a little bit. I'm in it lower around 248. I still like an area around 244 today, 242. If it gets down there, this level could be bought. So if I was to draw a yellow line, I'd be drawing it around 244, 242. I'm not going to, but that's a level that could be bought today. Max upside would be 263. Maybe 265. That's about as max as I can see it going today. NVIDIA. We remain in NVIDIA. We remain bullish on NVIDIA. This thing is going to go. We've been scooping this thing up every time it's dipped. We started back here in April. We started back here. When did we start? No, we started back here in March. Ran up here. I tried to sell it. Didn't sell it. I said, all right, I'll just hold it. Held it all the way down. Bought some more down here in the 88s. Played that. Got in, got up, got out. Got this run up to 114. Was going to sell it. If it got to 118, but it didn't. So we're just holding it. Well, we're in this. However, what's the level today? Who cares, Carl? You've gotten it. What can I do with it? Okay. I don't see the catalyst to push it down. But if we get a catalyst to push it down, I would look for one. Well, yesterday I told you guys. I even said it yesterday. Did I have this thing? Yeah. I said yesterday, I said I like 105. This exact level I said I like 105. I think I said it in a live trading room. I said it here on the YouTube, 105. Again, same type of thing, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We got to 105. If you would have bought at 105, you could have got yourself a nice 3% bounce up to 108, something thereabouts, okay? So where I like it today, again, I like this double bottom, this 104, 104.50. If we were to get a $4 drop, That's where you want to buy it, and you could buy it on a break of 100. The problem is if it starts to sell off, it's going to break 100. So when you get to these 102s, 103 numbers, you have to be mindful that it likely to break 100. So you would want to know that if I buy at 104 or 102, I need to be ready to buy again at like 98 to 96, okay? Just in general, because if you're falling that fast from 108 to 109 and you're falling that fast at 104, you're likely to touch 100. So you got to be prepared for that. Amazon, again, another stock that I really like, but it has to be in the 175s. We get into the 175s, it is a buy and you may hold it overnight. I like it down here. So I'm saying on a yellow line, if I'm drawing a yellow line here, my yellow line today is here, right there, 177. We get down there, I like that. Okay, so 177. We just got to get down there. But 177 to 172, right in there. Okay, NVIDIA, we've gone over. Amazon, we've gone over. FedEx, ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one, guys. I'm wondering why. I was trying to remember why I had this up. So let me unbusy this chart. Again, we go from the bottom low to the highs up here, okay? And I don't use Fibonacci's too much, but that's a whole nother technical term to look at. But there's other things that I put together to tell a story of why it bounces. So if I zoom in, there's all, you got to realize, to you it looks crazy. To me it looks like chaos. I mean, it looks like controlled chaos. There's a reason why when it got to 195, it bounced all the way up here. Why this 200 was a level of support, okay? So again, this candle is the green candle. That's that God candle. You'll see it on most charts. That's the Trump tariff relief that you got yesterday. Where I like to buy here is around 200 again. Same thesis that goes on with NVIDIA. When you get close to these 200s or 100s, you got to expect a pierce of that number. But you can be buying FedEx down here if you want to swing trade it, hold it overnight. If you want to hold this thing overnight, it is a buy sub 205, okay, in my opinion. I got to always stress that. But let me show you something on this fib. This is a Fibonacci retrace. Let me explain it real quick. I took a Fibonacci retrace from this low all the way to these highs. And I would go all the way to the top, but there's three little pivot points, 1, 2, and 3. So I tried to put it about right there. But you got the 618 Fibonacci retrace. What that is says you have this move that goes from 0 to 100. And as it rolls down in terms of percentages, right, the 618 retrace of that gives you 206, roughly 206. Where are we at? 206.41. We're like right there. So we're at a major support area. The area that I personally like is 178. But I don't mind buying 618. If I bought it right here around 200, if I could get it around 200, I'd buy. And guess what I'd buy next? I'd buy around 180. Somewhere right here in this 180, and it would coincide. Matter of fact, the level would be 170. I'd buy 200 and I'd buy at 170. Simple and plain. Thereabouts. Based on that and based on what I see on the chart. So for today, who cares about all that? That's swing trading, right? But for day trading, do we have the volatility? We're flat on it. I don't day trade this stock too often. I do swing trade it from time to time. But I have a level. Again, it's the same thesis on 200. It would have to get to about 197 for me today. I don't see the catalyst for that, but we'll have a look. I want to go over some China stocks. I want to go over AVGO, and then I want to go over Palantir and then China stocks. So real quick, same God candle that you see on AVGO, you'll see on every other stock. Here we are. I've already highlighted my levels that I like, my yellow lines today. Today, if we can get to 168, let's just put it kind of right there. If we can get to 168, that is a buy. Ultimately, if it gets to 162, that is a no-brainer buy. Okay? So we want it here at 168, and we would manage it somewhere in this box here today if we got that catalyst. Palantir. Going to zoom in on it. Again, it's the same. You got the same God candle. This massive pump up here. I like 82. 82 is still my level for today. If we were to get that, we would take that. We got so close yesterday, got to 84.30. So it got within $2 of my level and then had a significant bounce. If we get the pullback today, we want 82, maybe $80, thereabouts, with a level with a mega support level. Oh, the mega support level is way down here, but another support level being about $77 to $75. Okay, that's Palantir. So these could be actioned today. Last stocks I want to look at is Baba, which is a Chinese company, which is under all those tariffs. So if we get a pause in tariff, expect a relief. We are down here where we need to start accumulating as a swing trade. Okay, so if we get the momentum to go down, we want to grab this somewhere around 100 with the same thesis I said on every $100 stock. You can go as low as, this thing has been as low as 80 as recently. This was before. I need to put this trend line all the way out. So let's see what it is. It was something like that. Yeah, $90, $80, something like that. But right here, it's getting real interesting, Sub 100, 198, 99, that could be played. PDD, which is Timu, okay? They own Timu, so you want to look at that. Let's just see where they're at. They're at $90. Man, this is getting real interesting. We're at a double bottom. We got this upslope. We're broken that trend line. Yeah, we want to be $80. That's the level. $80. $80. Getting to $80, that's where we buy. It's as simple as that. So let me draw my little yellow line, clone, copy, boom. Here, we want it right there. We want it at $80. Let's put a little alert at about 85. So if it gets close, we're aware, but we want it as close to $80 as possible. Down here is no-brainer levels. You got to realize the stock market is the only market, and I keep saying it to members, is the only market, only store in the world. When it's falling, people don't want to buy. People just, for some reason, get scared. If you're scared, I keep saying it, if you're scared, go to church. I'm not scared. I'm stepping up. Okay, can stocks fall? Can the SPY fall further? Yes. I've been one of the people saying we are not in free fall. We are in correction mode. We got close. To get a correction, the SPY has to close under 483 on the daily. We've never done that so far. We break that. Now we're talking correction mode. We'll understand it. But of course, Donald Trump had to back off of this stupid tariff stuff. Why? The bond market. It's as simple as that. The bond market. China buys all the debt. They're not buying it. So how are you going to fund your $1 trillion deficit? How are you going to do it? And tariffs, they're a good tool to be used if you specify what industry you want to look at. It could be steel, could be coal, could be computer chips, could be something, but it can't just be everything. Why? Because you just make everything more expensive. You can't just build a factory overnight. Now, if Trump would have made the factories in his previous administration, lost to Joe Biden because he did lose, and then won this time because he definitely did win, guess what? Now doing those tariffs, he'd have the factories. He'd have all the factories, 4-6 years of factories ready to roll. He didn't do that. Now he's here with this last gas thing trying to do all this stuff, and it's just going to create chaos. He's an agent of chaos. As a day trader, love it. Don't know what he's going to post, don't know what he's going to tweet, but you got to be ready, and you got to be ready to maneuver with it. So we have the SPY. We've talked about that. Yeah. So let's see you on the charts. I hope you join. Link in the description. Come check us out. Again, free to join.